have here a couple of rosters. You can check all the rosters on the link in my description if you want to know what these lists are. We have Earthkwake going up against, I believe it was Ace Ash.
Yep, Ace Ash.
And yeah.
It's all supernatural.
And let's hop over to Ace Ash's stream here. It's getting a little... We're getting a little bit of lag here, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. A little pixely. Is it pixely for you, Sicknick?
Watching yours is. Mine seems to be okay for the most part.
Okay.
Like it's a little choppy, but that's okay.
That's what I get for not using LAN. I should string that cable up at some point later today. But looking at these lists, we have it appears to be Astra v Astra.
Yep, pretty much the most common captain to be used in competitive play right now.
Mm-hmm. And why is that these days?
Because Astra has the ability to decrease the amount of cinder needed to drop a unit, so it's called boost morale, and it'll, like, as you can see right now, permanently reduce the cost of a random crew member by 2. So most of the time, whenever you're using another captain, if you have something that is a little bit more expensive in terms of cinder, you can drop them a lot sooner to kind of give you that advantage.
Yeah, and looking at these lists, that is quite the bridge already. Early reinforces coming out of Krushax here.
That looked hyper wild.
Which is Ace Ash, to clarify. Oh, that is a Zax. I thought that was an Astra. This Discord stream is finally stabilized. So that's pretty funny. So yeah, Zax v Astra. A lot of players that I've noticed, and myself included, like to kind of rush the Astra down and take them out before they're able to get that massive Cinder lead and develop their board pretty quickly. But already a Tipu out and a Cinder infusion here for Krushax. We'll see how they utilize it. We do see Deadeye and Zax. That's a pretty fairly common combo I've seen a couple times.
Yeah, it's a pretty good combo to use together, especially whenever it comes to the captain. But just really curious what he's going to drop. Earthkwake.
Yeah. This is a pretty big decision here. Early board state has been set. So, a bit of work
Don't
going on
worry,
there.
the tree gave us these.
Ooh, the zoom in. Yo! Look at that fancy paint job coming on.
I know.
I think it's the Founders Pack one. Actually, both captains looking pretty slick here. Toxoid gonna reduce that Deadeye to 1, so this is a pretty easy take.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean that's actually great positioning by Earthquake. Because that light cover that you get from those smoke clouds should not be taken lightly. As you can see here, it affects even melee hits, and that could have been a dead Deadeye right there.
Yeah, it could have been
horrible.
And another thing is that if they would have hit with the Toxoid and then hit with the Astra afterwards, then Astra could have gotten an additional reinforce for free.
Moment to take all this in.
Absolutely. And now we see they're going to try and pick off the Toxoid. We do see Earthquake is in an interesting position, trying to kite them away here. You definitely don't want to let the Astra rush you in, but it's one of those things where when you are up against an Astra... Oh, Krushax is the Zax, I believe. I can't believe I didn't catch that. That's on me. Krushax is in an interesting situation when you're the Zax v Astra because you want to win before the Astra can get that board out in insanely good state. But if you don't have that early hand, you kind of almost have to turtle and wait to play for that later game where, yeah, Astra has this big board out, but Astra herself as a character not going to do too much for you once there's a full board. It's just 1 damage from the tongue.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the discussion that we had earlier, that sometimes it's better to not waste, to not drop a unit, just so that you can drop it a little bit later as well. Just about getting, dropping the units at the right time, rather than just dropping them without, a plan of action.
So defensive.
Here.
So Stowaway is another great ship assist ability that you can use. it like anytime that you use it, every 2 rounds, you can save 3 cinder. So it's kind of like almost like having a cinder infusion if you think about it.
Cinder glow.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, that cinder infusion, even though the Astra has the cinder
Talus
infusion,
fruit?
you're able to sort of try and keep up with it, but we see that issue right now with the Zax Astra matchup. Not issue, that's... I keep getting confused who we're watching. You know what? I'm gonna make it easier. I'm just gonna switch the stream over. We're just gonna hop over to Earthkwake here and see it from their view. There we go. Now it makes sense to me.
That's exactly who I've been watching right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about how Astra wants to kind of push the board. Zax wants to kind of rush in and get a good board state before he makes his moves, or try and get an advantageous board state from a good draw. And what we see here is, look, this is an insane board state. You're going to hear us talk about that a lot, actually, because where your advantages are going to come from will happen based off of reacting to what the state of the board is from your hand versus from what's on the board for you and the opponent. And that is incredibly important because that's what's out of the field and can interact directly at that moment in time. And reacting to that, making sure you're setting up appropriately is important. It's huge because even though Astra is going to accelerate pretty hard, it's just a Tipu and now a Chuckinko they're trying to get on the field that needs to get in melee range to be super effective.
Yeah, it's definitely super effective whenever it's in close range, but at the same time, it's such a powerful unit to have on the field, especially with its armor. Not only armor, but then you can also kick a unit to kind of put it into a better positions for you to do like any AoE or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so looking at this right now, it does Zax. See, the interesting part about this is neither of them have taken any damage. Usually you'll see people chipping and chopping at each other's captains to get an opportunity, but both these players are pretty content poking out the board. And that almost works in favor of Zax here.
Yeah, it certainly can, but that's like another strong way of playing the game, is playing it for the long term to go up against the units. Oh, that was significant.
Yep.
Talking about just doing a little bit of chip damage, but we don't do that. We just take the big crits.
Yeah, I mean, chip damage is for wusses, honestly. Why worry about, getting a 2 damage shot here or there when you can just simply crit?
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this. I know there's a lot of discussion about this. I'm actually team crit. I like crits. I think they're fun. And I think they're a fun mechanic to work with the game. That said, it does not feel good to get giga critted and embodied at times, but I think that's something that gets mitigated the more if you play a bigger schedule again.
What a nice drop with the switchback, using its switch it up to be able to use rapid fire to take off that unit.
Absolutely, and you're talking about how using the Zax to keep poking out those different units. But then you have the Astra who is able to do a turn like that, drop a switchback, immediately delete something on the board, and now you have to respond, and that switchback is going to stay alive. There is no world where Zax can do more than that, unless both Zax and I think it's a Deadeye, or is it an Arya?
I believe it's the Deadeye.
Unless they both crit, the switchback stays alive and Stitchy McPatches comes up and heals them. And you're late game enough that Cinder is going to be it's going to be very prevalent. You have the Cinder to do the things you want and need with these actions from these characters. And
this is like the perfect time to have your Stitchy McPatchy is during like these later rounds whenever you can actually afford to heal your units. Dropping a Stitchy McPatchy early game isn't really going to be any benefit because it's just going to be too much wasted Cinder.
Oh no, I forgot my sniper pants on this.
I've seen those I've been in those situations where an early switchback just deletes me off the board, but it's so much powerful in these later stages. Whoops. I like this move from Krushax. Yes, you have a switchback. Yes, that's going to be painful. But I currently don't have the damage. Take some guaranteed shots and chip out other key pieces while blocking away the switchback. Switchback's already used rapid fire. It's slowed, so it's a decision now.
Ooh, I'm not.
So that was an interesting target selection. What are your
definitely,
tell me about it, Sick Nick. It's not. Yeah, tell me about it, Sick Nick.
Yeah, so it is a really interesting unit selection because shrapnel has armor as well. So with rapid fire with switchback, it can do up to like a total of 6 damage, but so it'd only be 4 for the shrapnel. I probably would have went for the 6 unit to be able to take that off of the board.
Yeah, imagine this, because get rid of the pyro.
Yeah, and pyro's very effective. It does 2 damage to anything that's like within range, and then it has a 1 burn at the end of each turn for up to 3 rounds.
Yep. Yeah, it's like the shrapnel. See, this is actually what is going on here is shrapnel's dream scenario. You are focusing the shrapnel. I'm gonna get an AoE shot. My armor and 7 health is keeping me alive. Like that is the shrapnel dream. You just drop it, and it's gonna eat a bunch of damage and do a decent amount of AoE against.
Want to have a jam sesh?
Yep. But I really liked what he did with the Chuck and Co, where he kicked the shrapnel to the other side of the soft cover.
Yeah, absolutely. So now shrapnel has to walk around and put yourself in at least a moderately good situation when it comes to using some of for the accuracy purposes.
Exactly.
That burn's gonna go once per turn until you heal that person. So a lot of decisions to be made here. That's a consequence of picking the shrapnel instead of the pyro for switchback.
Yep, exactly. That would have been down. But the only thing that kind of gives him a saving grace is that the Chuck and Co isn't going to be taking any damage from the burn after each round.
Absolutely.
It'll just be the captain, which can be definitely significant, but it's not as
Feels like people are out to get me.
the miss from the shrapnel on the Chuck and
Would
Co.
a grenade help?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we said, that's what we talked about, using the light cover effectively.
Pushy.
So at this current state, though,
bold
despite
and
some
sexy.
decent recovery,
Wise
and even though there were some
guy.
interesting target selections, Krushax has put themselves into a very good spot in a matchup that I would say most people will say is Astra favored right now.
Yeah, I think that Krushax is doing an actually pretty decent job with where he's at.
Okay.
The thing that I'm worried about is the lifeline and all that for later in the game as well.
Yep, so that switchback just got healed up. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of damage to see. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. And I feel like that should have been maybe the action that happened earlier, but again, it's they finally did it. That unit is down, which is significant. Oh, that was smart. Kicking that that mine over towards the Teutonia to be able to do damage. Earth-6 can be such a difficult unit to use. I'm very excited to see on how it gets used.
Oh, I am Earth team. I love Earth-6 Scatterby. I wonder if Krushax. That might have been a miscalculation. I'm sorry, Earthquake. I wonder if Earthquake completely understands how armor works right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Very understandable. Super new game. And there's only a few units that have it, and it's very likely someone hasn't encountered it yet. So armor does reduce the damage of coming in by 1.
Breaking
So
records and
in this case, that's what makes shrapnel super strong. You have 7 health, but everything's reduced by 1. And in a game where most shots are 2 damage at most each, outside of a few units, that's so huge. Outside of a few units, that's effectively 10 to 14 health. It may be 7 health, but with armor, you're looking at 10 to 14 health.
Yep.
So
The one thing that we need to keep into consideration is that
gravity does to get line of sight.
Oh yeah, to decrease the percent miss chance.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying something about Krushax here?
Yeah. So I was saying about on how the switchback now has a good opportunity of taking out the shrapnel with the rapid fire. If I see, I don't know if I agree with that.
I actually like this because what Krushax is seeing is they have 20 health, the Astros have 4. Just hard commit everything. You know you're going to get your kill on the next turn.
It's definitely possible.
Just look like you're thinking.
But there's still the Stitchy McPatchy, there's still the Cinder, so that's effectively an extra couple of heals as well. So if he can take down the Shrapnel and back away so that he's no longer in range of the Titonia.
Yeah. True.
Then he can still...
I like this. You know, you have the Cinder, but Ur6, here's the thing, Ur6 does do the 1 damage, and if you feel like you have math on your side to take that kill, do it. But I like dropping the Ur6 spam, kinda good choice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
like
exactly what needed to
spam
happen.
To block people off, which if that is what we see Earthquake doing, this is gonna stop the bleeding pretty hard. Because look at the Ur6, if they use the airborne to bounce out here, if they're able to get out of Titonia's range, this play is actually really good. Oh no.
Yeah,
because I like what I was thinking they were gonna do is there it is. Okay, they're just getting another melee. I like it. take your chip damage.
Seriously, join us.
Very nice. I'm glad that hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is. Unless there's that's gravity disc range.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about.
If they had gone a little bit farther over, they're fine. Over that gravity disc. That said, you could have a crit here.
Could have a crit.
Oh, stillness.
I'm the Cinder Whisperer.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be...
Yeah, a lot of good... I mean, that's game. Good round.
That is
Very
game.
good round. A lot of interesting stuff. I think Earthquake played... You know, there were a lot of interesting decisions in situations, but I think Earthquake played that actually pretty well, some of those situations. It just needed... a little bit more optimization. I think they could have taken that game, especially in the end game's decision making. There was a lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
especially like that Ur6 block.
One thing that I was thinking about is that he did have his chuck and code that was just like directly north of the mine. I wonder if he would have been able to do something with that in terms of like either kicking it away, and then kind of. Because he went a little close to the Zax, which is what I was concerned with, instead of going more to the left-hand side, closer to the switchback.
Yep.
Very interesting game, though.
Yeah, so we do see... an Extiliar list. Took the Zax win, going for the Extiliar. You love to see it.
Yeah, I think if... So, Extiliar is one of those captains where you need your low cost units and you need something to slow down stun to do something like that. So I think with I haven't had an opportunity to look at the Extiliar roster, but I wouldn't be super shocked if there was like a Balam that was on the list, a Snarling, a Jailbreak, something around those lines.
I cannot tell you how many times I have done that before. Earthquake popped into a public game. Good. You know what? Props for the immediate concede. Props. It actually looks like we might have Extiliar v Extiliar.
God, that's gonna be good too.
That's gonna. Oh man, I really wish Earthquake's stream could have been is a little bit clearer, but I can only get it on Krushax, so we're just gonna keep watching this from Krushax's perspective. And no judgment. It happens.
No, I'll stick with the Earthquakes.
Yeah, and let us know if there's anything interesting in that hand. Yep. Ooh, so
calculate or contemplate.
We got corrosive particles and stowaway. That's gonna help Krushax's economy management because you don't have to spend that 3 cinder for the reinforce. You just keep popping your stowaway. What do we got on Earthquake?
So right now we have Clink and Stimburst for his ship assist, and in terms of his units that he has right now, he has a Tonia, Stitchy McPatchy, a Furia, and what was the other one? An Antios Gauntlet.
Okay, we see the Antios now.
Intriguing design.
Antios is like a pretty nice decision. The only thing is having him early on as well can be very expensive. to get his +2 attack
I like,
bonus.
For what +3 attack bonus. I would
sorry, +3, yes.
I would actually say Antios. Ooh, that
It's great value, but I hate spending that much Cinder early.
Cannot be undone.
Oh, sorry, Stack. We're this is the cast channel.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. It's the first time we've done this. You know, we'll have a spectator mode soon enough. But I mean, I don't exactly remember what did Stack say, because it might have been a pretty good comment there, Sick.
Let's set the stage.
You get a lot of bonus damage for what Cinder it costs, but early game it's hard to justify spending that much Cinder on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, now
so
mute yourself, Stack Overflow.
One of the things that I think is always, or likely always, a better decision is to go with Blindsider Esteli. Because it's just whenever your Cinder is down to 0, you automatically get like a +2 to your attack plus fast. So there's no extra cost in terms of like doing damage, which Antios would do +4, while Esteli does his +4 just with that, without the cost of Cinder.
Intriguing design.
Now, I will say, I actually think Antios is a good late game unit, not an early game unit.
Fully agree.
Because
Battle's a
it is
celebration.
3 Cinder, but 2 Cinder each turn, but 1 Cinder to drop, and you have situational 3 damage and first strike in the later stages of the game. Alrighty, so this is both play. I like this. This is fun exterior play. I don't know if it's the most. It's interesting to see because it is. Oh, I should have seen that. That Maximus would have just chucked out 4 damage if they had remembered the order of operations there.
Exactly, yeah.
But
Let's give them an
one
encore.
thing that I'll kind of give to Earthquake right now is he can do a significant amount of. Oh wait, okay. I'm glad that he moved his character out of the way there. They're splitting them up.
Okay, good blocking. Good blocking. Yeah, so Earthquake's in a really tough spot. They went in super hard, and you mentioned they have some decently expensive units that aren't going to have the immediate impact you're going to want from some of these lower cost units. They're having to spend Cinders to try and get themselves out of this corner.
Defense first.
Yeah, exactly. If you know that you're going for a more long-term game, especially whenever you have a Tona Mystic in your hand, it's better to kind of play it slow so that you can drop it so in the later rounds you can use that +10 heal or whatnot that you can get from it.
And, just give some updates here. We do have our first reported match of the game. If you are reporting your match, please post it in the correct thread. And so it is Flash Midnight versus Lillicet. Lillicet taking that I'm sorry, Flash Midnight taking that 2-1 over Lillicet. Why am I not on that?
Blow by blow.
You're gonna have to take it over here for a second. I gotta figure something out.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching. Oh man, Earthquake is in a very tough position right now. He's stuck in between 3 different units, all melee. He does have a CC McPacky that he just dropped where he can get a potential heal, and he did use his +3 attack AOE Sword of Justice. He can potentially get out of this. Okay, good. He's using his, or it looks like he was about to use his Stim Burst.
Many ways to fight.
Good. I'm glad that he kind of used his Stim Burst. Not entirely sure if I would have went into that specific area though.
Yeah, apologies. I am adjusting the bracket. Alright, I gotta say, we had some pretty solid tags.
There we go.
Yep. I mean, it was just, they took a gamble on the rush there, and they played it pretty well, but maybe if they played it a bit slower, that would have probably turned out in Earthquake's favor. I like a lot of Earthquake's play. I think their in-the-moment decision-making has some very good... They make some good decisions in the moment at times, especially in those later game situations. But remembering to set up, you're like, okay, here's my starting hand, here's what my deck's going to do. But even if your deck wants to go in, if your starting hand doesn't have the Cinder curve to facilitate that, maybe though to take it a bit slower. But I like the in-the-moment decision-making we see from Earthquake. A lot like they have the right idea at times.
Yeah, a lot of gusto. That's exactly how
Yeah.
you should be playing Exterior for the most part. But from the start, whenever I saw his hand and I saw the Tona, the Furia, like those are all very expensive units to have. And that just kind of, to me, whenever I see a lineup like that, it screams to me that it should be more of like a late game, slower progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, GG's. Well played to both players. Our first streamed game. I don't know why I put stop watching. I need to... We're going to swap over the bracket. I'm going to give up on cams because we're going to be bouncing around Discord a lot today.